Tainted Grail, the Fall of Avalon. This is gonna be my first impression review, and as it says in a topic of why I decided to wait for this game to receive proper patches before I commit to it and go for the full run. Let's not waste time and let's go. So, the very first thing that I would like to discuss about Tainted Grail is what it is. A lot of people will say how it's indie Skyrim, how it's similar to Avowed. Okay, reality is, Avowed is Skyrim from AliExpress, while Tainted Grail has basically nothing to do with Skyrim and Avowed, cause Tainted Grail is a Souls-like from the first-person perspective. The gameplay, how you move through the maps, exploration, boss fights, everything reminds me on Souls-likes, especially on Dark Souls 1. Similar clunkiness during combat like in Dark Souls 1, but it feels good. The overall impression about this game, at least from me in my first 5 hours, is that the game just needs to be polished and it's gonna be simply amazing, and that's why I decided to wait for this game to receive like 5 to 10 more bigger patches from the developers, cause they keep working on a game non-stop, and then I'll sit down and I'll enjoy the game completely. Do I like it even now like it is? Yeah, I do. Story is very interesting. I have to say how story is very interesting. Of course, it revolves around King Arthur. It's very dark, it's very brutal. Believe it or not, there is no body type when you pick to create a character. Here you got male and female, thank God. Okay, so I only have praises for the game and nothing else. Story is very intriguing. I loved it, and I loved the overall darkness of the game. It's dark tone. It has that unique Souls-like atmosphere, but in a Western style. As far as bugs, optimization and similar goes, as I said, the game needs polish, it has some unstable frame rates and so on, but overall everyone should wait a bit to play this game properly. I truly believe, like, not in a year, but in like 5 to 6 months from now, Tainted Grail is gonna be simply amazing. As far as the game time goes, this is a huge game. I can already tell by the world map and by the amount of secrets and dungeons and so on. It's gonna be extremely long game with a solid replay value. As far as the difficulty goes, that's also the part where developers will need to spend some time to balance the game out. Cause I heard from a lot of people, I haven't tested it out myself, later on, 30-40 hours later, you become way too OP for enemies even on the hardest difficulty, so they will need to rebalance the game and keep it challenging. Okay, but the start of the game is extremely challenging on the hardest difficulty. As I said, probably the game loses balance as you move forward, cause like the last 30-40% of the game, as I heard, is not finished yet, even though the game is out of early access, and that's why I say it's gonna take 5 to 6 more months, and that's why I'm going to wait. Even though I extremely like this game, I really do, I'm gonna wait, cause I know I'm gonna have a blast if I wait, instead of getting annoyed by bad balancing or by performance issues. That's the reason number one why I decided to wait for the game. Where were we now is maps and graphics. Graphics for an indie game, the game that works in Unity engine, is absolutely great. I like it more, for example, than Avowed that I recently played. It has more soul in this game, you know, and it has better art. I really more unique areas on the maps. That's why it also feels a lot like a Souls-like. What you can see on a map is where you can go. So if you see something interesting, it means that you will be able to go there. And there are very specific areas, unique areas that are easy to remember when you explore. During dungeons there are no maps, so that's exactly the same like any other Souls-like, but there is a world map so you can actually see where you are. Think about Elden Ring and how the world map was done in Elden Ring. That's how it is in Tainted Grail, only this is first person perspective. Okay, so the game looks nice and it has a great world. As far as gameplay goes, you got tons of playable classes, melee, ranged, mages, and whatnot, okay? Sneaking, I don't know, there's like tons of things how you can play the game. Gameplay, explore, main story, progress, everything is done extremely well, including the exploration parts, secrets, hidden bosses, secrets during dungeons, everything is in the game. The game is really immersive, and that's the bottom line. Leveling, itemization, bunch of items in the game. As I said, it's gonna take 5 to 6 months for them to balance everything out, because there's a lot of things to balance, okay? There's a lot of items, a lot of different builds. Skill trees are huge, okay? Also, why it reminds me on a Souls-like. How you level up in a Souls-like? On a bonfire. Here you got exactly the same. Bonfire, sit down, spend attribute points and invest into the skill tree. It's really a freaking Souls-like from the first person perspective in at least 5 or 6 segments. The entire game is fully voice acted. Voice acting is extremely good, music is good, although it has copyright issues, which is a bad thing, especially for content creators. I received a lot of copyrights from only one run, and what's left are NPCs, enemies, variety, and so on. There's huge enemy variety, and it seems like there's a boss on every corner. So there is nothing else to add about this game. This is one of the better indie games in the last few years, and probably top 5 indie games of 2025. And there is nothing to think about. The game easily shits on Avowed, even on Bethesda's remastered version of Oblivion. It easily destroys them, it wipes the floor with them. And I will wait, because I really wanna play the perfect version of this game and enjoy it completely. And I suggest you do the same. When we should play the game? Now it's like middle of June. I would say October, November. Anyways, I'll follow the patch notes, and once I see that the game is fixed, I'll let you all know. When you see me playing Tainted Grail in a few months from now, you'll know that the game is fixed and you should go for it. That's all I have to say about Tainted Grail. One amazing game, potential to be amazing game, and I believe developers will deliver. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll be seeing you on the next one.